Welcome back, Camille. My eyebrows look kind of crazy. I meant to dye them last night, but I didn't, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll fill them in. Okay. So I decided that I am going to abandon my posting schedule. My posting schedule has been kind of messed up the last few weeks. I didn't post, and then I did post, and then I posted late. It's just been chaos. There's a lot of factors that contributed to the posting schedule being off, but I just decided that like I'm not going to stick to a posting schedule anymore, which is weird because I've literally always had like, all right, I post these days and these days and these days, and it used to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it was that way for like a long time. For years and years I posted every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, and then I started posting every Friday. And since then, it's just been like one video a week. But I've always done at least that, unless something happens and I'm just like simply not able to. But yeah, I think I've decided that I might find it easier to post more if I'm not on a strict posting schedule. Knowing I have to post on Friday, oh no, it's Thursday, I need to post something tomorrow, let me film a vlog, and then the next day edit it as fast as I can and post it. And so I usually spend the first half of the week just like working on other things outside of YouTube, and then I feel like it's just kind of rushed. It's causing the quality of my content to lessen. So I'm gonna give this new schedule a try. The goal is that I end up posting more. Instead of just once a week, I end up posting like every 3 days or so. And instead of just filming one day and trying to like make a whole video out of my one day, I'm just gonna film random clips of my day. Some days are less interesting and I have nothing going on, and maybe I won't record anything, and some days I have a lot going on and I'll get a ton of footage that day. And I'm just gonna film until I feel like I have enough footage to put in a vlog. So rather than spending 2 days at the end of the week trying to cram in a video, I'm working towards posting a little bit every day. Whether I'm vlogging a little bit that day or I'm editing yesterday's footage, there's a daily effort towards getting these videos out. So the videos will be a little more sporadic, and if you want to turn the notification on, because I won't be on a schedule anymore, so that way you'll know when I post. Yeah, if it doesn't work out and I end up posting less than once a week, then I'm just gonna go back to like posting once a week on a scheduled day. So that also means I'm gonna be doing a bit more vlogging, but I still wanna post like 2 sit-down videos a month. And honestly, a lot of my vlogs end up being me sitting down and talking anyways. So yeah, that's what's new with that. Today I dropped the girls off and came back and got ready because I have a date, a coffee date. I very briefly talked about this a while ago, but there was a girl that I was kind of seeing, kind of going on dates with. We weren't dating, we weren't in a relationship by any means, but you know, we were seeing each other, and I was starting to really like get excited about it, and I saw a lot of potential. And then she just straight up stopped responding to me. So after that, I really just was not trying to go on dates anymore. I'm not someone who finds it easy to just like go meet up with someone and talk and see where things go. Like, I put my heart into everything that I do. Putting my heart into getting to know someone over and over again just to have it not work out, like, miserable. I don't want that. But I'm really trying to see it as like, let's just meet. It's just meeting new people. Like, let's not even think about it as like trying to find a romantic partner, because it doesn't even have to be that. Like, if that happens, cool, and that's definitely like the intent behind the encounter, I guess, but also just as open to making a new friend. I've exclusively been going on dates with women for the last 2 years to no success. Still haven't gotten a girlfriend. I don't know, I'm definitely in no rush to like get into a relationship or anything. It's getting cold outside though, and it would be nice. I've been single for a really long time. I haven't been in a relationship for 2 years, and I've been talking with my therapist, and it's really starting to seem like I'm developing some really emotionally avoidant, isolating, lonely feelings. I used to be someone who had like a really open heart in a romantic sense, and I've just been so closed off lately. And the few times that I have tried to kind of open my heart a little bit, I'm just met with disappointment, and that just hasn't helped. And you know, it's one thing when you try to get to know someone and then you do and it's just like, okay, maybe we're not compatible, whatever. It's another thing when you like start to have feelings for someone and then they ghost you, like, ouch. But putting myself out there and having an open heart just feels like the next step in my healing journey. It's not even necessarily about finding a partner, it's just about like being open to that. With all that to say that I've decided to give dating men another try. I think part of the reason is that it just feels more familiar and less intimidating, and it's just a guy. I can talk to a guy. And the type of guy I'm into, like, is already very feminine. So I feel like it's not too much of a stretch between like a masculine lesbian and a feminine man. Like, if I can't get this, you know, let's try that. Let's see how that goes. I do have a harder time picturing myself with a man, like, long term. I can't really imagine a man as like a life partner, but there's possibility for a friendship there and maybe even like a little fling. And with how long I've been single, I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. I feel like I've never dated anyone ever before. I feel inexperienced. I feel like it's just like completely new to me, even though it's not. But I've grown so much as a person since last time I was in a relationship. This version of myself is unfamiliar with that. And you know, dating in a more mature, adult, healthy way, it's not really something I have a ton of experience with. So yeah, very much dipping my toe into it again. And at this point, I'm obviously keeping my kids like so far removed from my dating life. It would take someone really special and a very committed relationship for me to even like start to introduce someone to my kids. I haven't really talked to this guy about my kids. I have on my profile that I have kids, but no other like information about it. So yeah, meeting up and getting to know each other. There might be questions that come up that lead down a certain conversation. And you know, I'm very open about my past and what I've been through, especially online, but it's just like not a fun thing to come up on a first date. Anyways, I better get going. Like I said, we're meeting at a coffee shop. I guess I'll update you guys when I get back. It is much later. I went and picked up Coco kind of straight from my date and then had the girls around, made dinner, stuff like that. So they're in bed now. But yeah, the date went good. I'm trying not to like overanalyze what type of relationship this might end up to be, if it's just gonna be a friendship, if it might be more, I don't know. And I tend to do that, and like we've literally been on one date, like we're just getting to know each other. But you know, I'd be down to go on another date or another hang. We just really clicked and he was really funny and really smart. I thought someone was at my door. I actually asked my neighbor like a week ago if she wants to hang out sometime. She just seems really cool and we've seen each other in passing, and like my dog has gotten into her yard. So we've chatted a bit and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm right next door if you ever just wanna like hang out sometime. And she was like, yeah, no, I've got a busy week, but like sometime. And I was like, oh my god, it's her. It's my neighbor, she wants to hang out. To be fair, I did just hear her like pull up and get home. Anyways. It's just silly how like excited I just got. Back to what I was saying. I had a really good time. I was very nervous at first. I was being really awkward. I was like not doing a good job at making eye contact, but eventually I faced my fears and I was like, he had very blue eyes and I'm like, is this what people feel like looking at me? But yeah, I was like, whoa, your eyes are like really intense, dude. Makes it that much harder to keep eye contact. I think at the moment I'm kind of leaning more towards like it'll probably be a friendship. He reminds me a lot of my good friend Ian, and like the way we were interacting reminded me of my friendship with him. So yeah, I hope he's down to hang out again. I told him I'd be down to hang out again, so we'll see what happens. I'm really proud of myself for getting out of my comfort zone, and I left it feeling like, okay, I did good. Like I did a good job communicating. We had a good conversation. Sometimes I feel like I've just kind of forgotten how to socialize, how to talk to people. And it's good to have a reminder that I still got it, that I still know how to hold a conversation after all the time I spend alone in my house. Not gonna lie, as far as like going on another date with a man, I think I'd really just rather date women right now. It's really hard for me to feel romantically towards a man. And I told him that. I'm like, yeah, this is my first time dating a man in like 2 years. Like, I've not been on a date with a man since my ex-boyfriend 2 years ago. We did kind of get into a bit of my history, and like I have 2 daughters, obviously. I like briefly mentioned it in conversation, like, oh, my daughter, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, you have kids? I'm like, 2 of them. I feel like I might have talked about them a little too much. Like, they are my whole entire life. So they come up in a lot of things and stories and things I have to say. But yeah, I kind of realized, especially with online dating, there's just so many options you're seeing, and like it feels like you have a lot of choice, you know? You narrow it down and you go on dates with the people that you're kind of interested in. And I feel like a lot of people on those apps have that mindset, like, you know, this is an option, and then this is another option, and then this is another option, and we'll explore the options. Whereas like when you meet someone organically, you're not thinking about all the other options that might be out there for you. And so when people are going into it with that mindset, I feel like the single mom with 2 kids option probably isn't a winner a lot of the times. And I feel like for a lot of people, I'm the first person they've gone on a date with who has kids. And in a way it's good, because like it kind of scares off the right people, the people who know that they wouldn't be able to like be in a relationship with someone who has children. They know that, and I'm glad that neither of us are wasting our time. I just hate the idea that people would think I'm approaching in order to find a step parent for my kids. Even if I was in a long-term committed relationship, I don't necessarily want that at this point. Long term in the future, and if I were to get married again, like, yeah, you know, they'd become part of the family in that way. But until then, I'm really not interested in my partner playing a step parent type of role in my kids' lives, or really having much of a role in my kids' lives at all. And when I do meet the right person, I plan to really take it slowly, both in my relationship with them, but also like the decision to introduce them to my kids. But yeah, my kids are my life, and keeping them in mind definitely plays a factor in me deciding who I want to be with and who I wouldn't want to be with. I just feel like if I wasn't a mom, dating would be going very differently for me right now. But I mean, a lot of things in my life would be different if I wasn't a mom. I also do feel like generally it is men who view single moms in that way and are gonna kind of project like what they think I want out of them onto me, those ideas of like that it's just about like what I can get out of it, and that I want someone to like be a stepdad and help me financially. Like, that's just not where I'm coming from at all. And I've had someone swipe right on me and straight out the gate just be like, what are you looking for out of dating as a mom? Like, you have kids, like you can understand from my perspective how that looks and how that might feel and how it's really intimidating. Dude, we literally haven't even exchanged any words yet, and you're already coming at me with that. Like, I don't want you. Chill. I definitely don't want you to be a fucking stepdad. And the few experiences I have had dating women, they don't think like that, you know? They understand that me being a mom is kind of a big deal and a huge responsibility, and ultimately gonna play a factor eventually in who I choose to be with and what that means for the relationship. But it's not something that necessarily like scares them away or makes them think of me differently. So yeah, I am actually talking to 2 girls right now. Just saying that out loud, I feel like I sound like a player. You know, that's online dating. You talk to a few people at a time. I definitely can't handle like more than a few. But yeah, there's like 2 more people where we've been talking a little bit, and it's come to the point where it's like, I would like to meet you in person and just hang out. But especially with these first date type of interactions, like just really getting to know someone and not super thinking of it as like a date. And that's another thing with women. I feel like they are a lot more open to just being friends if it's not clicking romantically. Whereas guys can kind of be like, damn, I'm in the friend zone. Like, dude, it's just called being friends. As a sensitive little Pisces who's just been self-isolating for a little too long, it is kind of a lot for me to navigate, but I think it's important. I am such an optimistic person and I am such a lover, and I just like know that my person is out there. I don't even really think I'm gonna meet them soon. Like, I just have a hunch, like, they're not gonna come into my life during this time, but I know eventually they will, and that will be my person. And I do have really high standards for that person, but I also think I have the potential to be a really amazing partner. And so I think part of me getting to that point where I'm really ready for that, I'm ready to receive that, and I'm ready to give that, I need to experience this right now. And I need to experience putting myself out there and talking to people and having these conversations and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't and seeing what I like. I do think if I met my person tomorrow, I wouldn't necessarily be ready. I would feel like there's some experiences that I'm yet to have. Not because I'm missing out on those experiences and like dating around and going on like a bunch of first dates is something I necessarily want to do, something that I necessarily find enjoyable, but it feels like life experience that is worth having. It feels purposeful. I've kind of gone through phases over the last few months where I've put a little bit of effort towards dating and, you know, swiped and talked to a few people, and sometimes something comes of it, sometimes it doesn't, and then I just kind of get tired of that and I stop and don't even really think about any of it for a few weeks. But right now I'm ready to keep giving it a go and go on a few more first dates and just see what's up and hopefully meet some cool people. I met a cool person today. That's a win. I just love meeting so many new people right now. It just feels really refreshing. People are so important to me. Relationships and community is so important to me. Something that I value like very highly. And I think at times when I'm feeling down, it can feel like I don't deserve that for some reason, or that like I'm too much of a burden and my situation causes me to take more than I can give back to the people in my life. And I take every opportunity that I can to give back to the people that I love. But raising these kids by myself, like, there's just times where I need help. I just need help. And the people I do have in my life, they love me and they understand my situation and they are more than willing to help. And that's such a blessing. Those people who are there for me are just such good people with such good hearts. And that's really the only type of people I keep around. I don't have much room in my life for like frivolous, whatever, like fun friendships where my kids and our situation and my lifestyle isn't factored in, where that becomes more of a burden to the friendship. I just can't do relationships like that anymore, and I don't want it. If you're gonna be in my life, it's because we have a meaningful connection and we support each other. And again, I'm just so glad to have found that in the few people that I have found it in. But even with those people in my life, I still am under supported. I still don't have all the support that I need and that community that I need to kind of carry the weight that another parent would. And so to have more people in my life who love me and love my kids and are willing to support us in times of need and just really be that community, you know, it'd take a bit of the load off of everybody. And I think I'd feel a lot less like a burden in my friendships, because right now with the small but incredible support system that I have now, they're all kind of stepping up in little ways as needed and giving as much as they can, as much as they're willing to give. And when I say that, I really just mean in like time and love and care and just general support emotional support, babysitting in times of need, like when Coco was in the hospital and Dee Dee needed someone to watch her for a few days, someone to come over one night a week to just hang out with the girls and distract them so I could just focus on cooking dinner. Because most nights of the week, it's really hard to cook dinner with them running around. Just that little break, like that is the support that I crave, and that means so much to me. It's little things, but when things get really hard, it can feel like, man, I'll take like any support I can get right now. Like, it's not just like, oh, this would be nice. It's like, I need this. I need a break. I need a moment. I need to laugh. I need my people. There's times where like, I just need them. And sometimes this guilt comes up, this shame, just feeling like I wish I had more in me to give to them, because that is who I am. Like, the person I am is a very giving person. I love to give back to people. I love to make people feel special. It makes me so happy when I'm able to step in and have someone's back, when I can kind of help them carry the weight. But you know, they don't need it as much as I do. Those moments aren't as frequent where they just like need their support system. So it can feel kind of unbalanced, and that leaves me feeling like a burden, even though I'm not. But yeah, the bigger the support system I can have, I think the less I would feel that way in those individual relationships. And I would have more of me to give to other people. I would have more time and more resources and just more of me to be able to give back. So that's really important to me right now. Like, yeah, I'm dating and like it might lead somewhere and who knows what'll happen, but I really just care to meet good people and build my support system. And community is so underrated, and we live these individualized lives, and that's what society has taught us is the way. We get our own little space and we live in it and we do our own thing, and it's our responsibility. And I just don't agree with that. I think we should be able to lean on each other. And if your friends aren't the kind that you can lean on, find friends who you can lean on. Before I start talking about communism, I'm going to go to bed.